Thank you. So I just wanted to say that for those of you who have gotten feedback, please make sure that you're using the time to either, you can be paying attention to these presentations, but you are more than welcome to continue to work on your project, and we will check in with you guys later on.
All right, Justin, go.
Well, I just want to make sure that you all see this.
Yes.
Like, do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Is it recording yet?
Yes. Yep. Yes, it's going. Let's go.
All right. Welcome. My name is Justin Hunter, and for what we have today is a reimagining of a vacant lot located at Mariners Harbor in Staten Island. What we have for our objective is to landscape and incorporate a design for our community-based program that, of course, redesigns the vacant lot in said location of Mariners Harbor in Staten Island. What we have here is a map of said location to give us a better idea of what's around the spot, to better influence our concepts that we came up with to better redesign the lot. Moving on. Our first concept is the Beautification Approach, which is a garden with a sit-in place for adults, mostly people, to sit in the middle to view the scenery, and a small playground in the back for kids to enjoy while their parents have a relaxing time. Our pros for this would be it's a great change of scenery for residents and visitors alike. It is the perfect spot for parents to relax and give their kids something to enjoy. It promotes a green community and harmony for its residents and community. The cons, however, would be that this is a very high maintenance area that requires the utmost care as to avoid any problems with nature. It affects residents with strong allergies negatively. I know I have pretty bad allergies. And of course, the biggest con of all, bugs. Moving on to our second concept. This is where we start getting more creative and using our noggins a little. And that would be a food court of sorts. The inspiration from this comes from a spot in our very own neighborhood, Williamsburg. It is called Smorgasburg. It is essentially like an upgraded version of a food court you would find at your local mall. But instead of your typical fast food chains like, Burger King, Sparrow, Panda Express, McDonald's, you know the deal. It would have more exotic and unique chains. Like, for example, Ramen Burger, which is actually a real thing. It's a burger with like ramen as like a bun. It's very interesting. The pros of this would be that it provides a comfort spot of sorts for residents. A great spot for bringing a friend or a special companion to broaden their food scope. Also provides a broad variety of cuisine without having residents travel. The cons of this, however, would be that it provides little to no other activity for residents, does not provide the most accessible cuisine for residents, and requires them to have an acquired taste. I'm not sure why that's blocked. Moving on to our final concept, and that would be a carnival-esque spot. The inspiration for this comes from our local Italian feast that is spotted by our bakery here in Williamsburg. That's what got me thinking. And the purpose of this is that it is a year-round attraction as opposed to a limited time event, which would mean that every season change, the attraction is altered to better represent the seasons. And the work in progress name of this would be the Mariners Festival. which would have aquatic and marine lifelike aesthetics to better represent the namesake. This provides the residents with endless amounts of activity for them and their families to enjoy. Now, of course, with a festival, it would also have the standard festival things like concession stand, games, little food. It's like a smaller food court of sorts, which for the pros, it would provide families a great spot to have dinner with their families, of course, and also a great change of scenery for the neighborhood, and attracts visitors to its community. A con would be that it is a very costly and extensive process, requires extreme maintenance for the safety of others, and possible noise complaints, of course, with a giant festival. In conclusion, for now, thank you. Any questions, comments?
Who's going? Who wants to go first?
Miss Butts. Honors.
I mean, is that the same group from yesterday? Like, I mean, it's incredible.
No, that's a different group.
It's such a transformation.
That's just
And it was already really excellent. I'm stunned, honestly. I'm very proud of the work you just did. That's incredible. I'm very proud of you. I know there's going to be other, deeper critiques, but I'm super proud of you. I really am. Did a great job. Thank you. That's what I have to say.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll just go. Justin, I think other groups can take note. You told a story. You were engaging. You have a voice. You were making jokes here. You were yourself. You sounded very comfortable. I was interested in your ideas. You have some very you have some very ambitious ideas and original ideas and entertaining ideas. I thought hopefully the slides will be larger next time you present because, they were a little tough to read. But I will say that I'm wondering, with all these ambitious ideas, how, in fact, do you plan on pulling this stuff off? I think you had a lot of great style. Now I'm looking for more substance. I'm looking for more nuts and bolts. I'm looking for more pragmatism, practicality. What are the steps that you need to realize in order to pull off such a high vision? Okay, so I think Mr. Codio and Mr. Rodriguez can speak more concretely to how to do that, but as I said at the beginning, other groups take note. That's how you tell a story. Okay, so nice work.
Mr. Kessler, can I just add one more thing, which is, the moniker, sadly, for Staten Island is the forgotten borough. And in a lot of ways, it does get forgotten. And I think your presentation is beautiful because, to Mr. Kessler's point, it does you need to sort of figure out the nuts and bolts. But oftentimes, because Staten Island is viewed as being forgotten, people don't really kind of aim for the moon for helping Staten Island. And the fact that your presentation essentially there's a middle ground somewhere, I'm sure. But, most Staten Islanders would actually get deeply, they would be very impacted by the fact that you did a presentation that essentially says aim high. So it's great job.
Yeah, Justin, again, I agree, with what Mr. Kessler and what Mr. Heather said, about the presentation. I think you have a really strong, sense of, how to really communicate ideas, right? And one thing I want to say is that as you continue to move on, and this goes again to every other team, every other group, right now we're focusing on the project brief, right? But later on, we have to start, accompanying the text and what you're saying with visual elements, all right? So examples of what that carnivalesque lot would look like, right? Or the food court, right? So you should have maybe showed us different examples of food courts and how that actually can relate to the site, all right? But we will work on that, okay? So those are probably my main comment in regards to your presentation is that, you have to accompany it with visual examples. So the audience has a way to reference what you're saying.
Got it.
Yep.
So I'm just going to keep it straightforward. Once again, good job with the presentation. You have a great voice when it comes to presentation. Once you understand the project as a whole, it's just going to run smoothly because you was able to adapt and present the whole thing by yourself, and you understood the type of the objective of the project. So well done with that. And of course, this is your first presentation. In due time, we're going to, of course, sit down with you and talk about, having the visuals there, showing the big scale projects when it comes to food court and small scale projects when it comes to food court, where we're dealing with a lot 50 by 100. So those things we're going to add in you're going to add in your presentation later. You're going to do research on mentioning where the location of the space is, because that's one of the first things when it comes to the other side of the spectrum. When you look at the politicians, sometimes they just want to care. They care about the logistics, how much it's going to cost, as well as location. So they have a sense of, is this worth me investing in? Because they already heard a lot of pitches. The community is going to buy in because show their emotion, and they're going to love the idea. But now when you're dealing with the politicians, you're dealing with the political individuals, you just want to care about how much it's going to cost, where's this located, how much profit can be gained for the community, and how can this help build up the community so it brings more attraction to the area. So those are the things that you're going to add in later on, and these are the things you need to start thinking about, especially when, as Ms. Heather Buss mentioned, is a forgotten area, which is very important. There's some beautiful areas in Staten Island, and we want to make sure we showcase that, and as well as the people need to be acknowledged for who they are. But other than that, it's a great work in progress. So great job.
Justin, a question. Who else is in your team?
Well, the would be Natalie.
Natalie. Okay, so
Iona
or not?
and Lisbo. I haven't consulted with them at all about the project yet. Like what I did, all of this is sort of on my own.
Okay.
I'm trying to take credit. It's just we haven't had.
All right. So just keep in mind that as you continue to work on this, that you're reaching out to them and trying to keep them engaged.
Doing your job of reaching out to them. The fact that you did this on your own, again, just another point to you. Very impressive. So send the email and CC us on that, please.
All right, you got it.
All right, very good.